Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. This is take 2 because I've had some issues with my tripod. I don't know what's going on. Okay, anyway, I said in a previous video that I was going to do a plan with me, but I don't feel the need to plan for next week because not a lot's happening. So I thought what I would do is just go through the pages in my Hobonichi cousin Avec. I didn't do a flip for April and May, so let me go ahead and do that with you guys today. Okay, so let's get started. This is a Liberty Fabrics cover. If you're new here, please know that it's loud in my house. We're kind of like in the middle of a thunderstorm, and one of my dogs barks at thunder. It's kind of funny. Maybe it's not funny. Okay, I felt like I was way too zoomed in, so I'm gonna try again. Okay, so this is a Hobonichi cousin Avec. It's an A5 size. I don't use this for planning. If you are new here, I use this for my memory keeping / journaling. So now that we've got that out the way, the Avec is a 2-book system. It's like January through June in one book, which is the book I'm currently in, and then July to December in the second book. I did not share my April pages in here. There are still a few pages I'm wanting to get caught up in, and I just haven't gotten around to it, but I'm just going to go ahead and show what I currently have now. This is my journal. Some pages I use, some pages I don't. It is what it is. I don't put pressure on myself. This is a fun and creative outlet for me, and it's something that I really like to look back on and that I really enjoy year to year. Okay, so I've decorated this. I have a video somewhere on my channel. You are welcome to look back and try to find it where I decorated this cover. I think it was part of one of my Vlogmas videos. You can probably look at my Vlogmas playlist. Okay, yes. So, decorated. If you want to know the chunky factor, these are cards that either people have given me or I've received in the mail throughout the year that I like to keep in here. That's how thick and chunky it is. It's a pretty good size. So, I haven't changed any of this. This is like stuff I had in my stash or stuff I cut out with my Cricut Joy, you know, or stuff that I pulled out of like old A5 ring planners. Each Hobonichi cousin comes with like a yearly overview page. I don't use it because I don't plan in this. This is a journal. I probably could get away with just like an A5 journal, like notebook that I could use as a journal, because I don't really use a lot of the pages as I probably should. But I like that this is dated and this is a book that I'm really comfortable using. I don't use this page, as you can see. I do use this page as like my brush marker swatch page. It was my Tombow brush page, where I wrote in all the Tombow numbers just to kind of see like which ones I had and which ones I didn't have. But I also picked up some of these. They're called Flomo Creatives. They're like dupes to Tombow dual brush pens that I found at Home Goods for really cheap. This dark pink has already dried up, so not the best quality. I've had Tombows in my collection for like 4 years that are still working just fine. So it's kind of like a situation where you get what you pay for, but I like having the swatch page to reference, especially because I use my Tombows a lot in here. Okay, I don't use the monthlies like I probably should. I have some ideas, but I just don't implement them. So this is all I filled out for April, and then nothing has been filled out for May. And it's the same with my weeklies. Like, I always start the year off really strong, and then it just dwindles. I really thought about using this to write maybe like some news headlines or like something that happened in that day, good, bad, whatever. I just haven't gotten around to it. And as you can see, like this week in April, I did try to fill this out, but it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So these are all blank. Sometimes I'll go back in like, what am I trying to say? I will go back in and fill them in or doodle on them or whatever, but they're really wasted pages. I'm really behind on me writing down like if I broke my spending rules or not. Eek. Little secret, I have broken my spending rules so far this year, but it's all good. All right, so let's go to April. So April, the first, the cover page, Sophie wrote, I had gotten this Honey Kaveco Sport in a medium nib, and I had inked it with whatever color ink this was, and Sophie wanted to write with it, so she wrote a story. You're going to see blank pages, and that's fine. Sometimes I'll go back in and fill them out if it's something like that happened in that day, but most of the time if they're blank, they're just blank. I just move on with my life. So I remember this day. This was the day I watched Malaya break her bat, and we bought her an Easton Ghost, which is a very expensive bat. If you have kids that play softball, you probably know. Anyway, yeah, so that was kind of like the highlight of that day. I did, like, in April, I didn't have a lot of free time to journal, to be honest with you. We were kind of like still in softball season and life and, all the things. But I would try to print pictures from my Canon Ivy and stick them in here if I could. So I remember this day, like, we came home from a softball game, and Sophie had drawn this picture of Malaya playing softball, and she was going to enter it into the art contest at her school. This was the JV tournament. This was a picture of Malaya getting her double. What? She only got to play 2 games in that tournament. The second game she took a fly ball to the face, and had a concussion. So she was out that Saturday. They were also supposed to have a tournament, but we were at the doctor and then the hospital for a CT scan. But Jessie did send me this picture of Sophie at the end of her soccer game, so I put that in here. And then this was Malaya, bless her, recovering from that concussion. And she did have one of my sweatshirts on that says "Drink Coffee, Fight Racism, Empower Women." And I got that sweatshirt from Mahogany Mommies, which is a black-owned, black-owned small business. I'm not going to go into like super details about this. I pretty much write a summary of the day or like something notable that happened. This is not like a feelings journal. Okay. This is like a life book, I guess, or a memory book of what's happened. Sometimes I decorate pages and then I'm like, meh, and I don't write. So yes. Skipped that day. This was a Saturday. Usually, Sophie had soccer games, so Jessie coached Sophie's soccer team. And we usually had a, like, tradition after soccer games, we would go to Dunkin' together. Yeah. The new park opened in our community, so that was fun. And Malaya's friend came over. I made some lumpia. Sophie and I watched My Demon. Here's Sunday. Monday. I'm gonna just kind of say, if you are nosy and read what I write, please note there's probably colorful language in there. It's usually how I talk, so yeah. I did put in here that I re-inked my Kaveco Honey with Colorverse Coffee Break. Beautiful color. Oh, that was the day that I did our taxes. There's a garbage truck. Oh, that's a fancy new garbage truck. Okay. And I was just pissed about, like, how all the rich people get all the tax cuts, and every year I freaking know. Nope. No, ma'am. Shh. You hear her? She's, yeah. There's a Wednesday. Here's Thursday. I just get creative in here and write what I want. I usually write about going to the gym a lot. Malaya got to play in this game, which was nice. She got to play right field and run bases. She also scored a run. She got a hit and an RBI, so that was great. Sophie had a soccer game that day, and Jessie said she played really well. This was a Friday. It was an e-learning day. Was it Yeah, it was an e-learning day in our district because we had to make up this day. This was supposed to be a day off, but we had to make this day up because we had a weather day in January. So we had pizza in the park. We had some fun. I took Malaya and Sophie dress shopping for Easter, and then my van hit 100,000 miles that day, so that's notable. This was the day we had our planner meetup. I did share that. There's a video on here. We got to meet with Monica, Miss Gwen, Tori, and there's me. So we met at a nice ramen place. We chatted and we geeked out over each other's planners and flipped through each other's planners. It was wonderful. And we wrote in each other's planners and all that great stuff. And it was so nice. We need to schedule another one soon. Yeah. think we're due one this month in June. This was Easter Sunday. I am Catholic, I guess, and I'm not a practicing Catholic. I was baptized Catholic. How's that? So usually on Easter I go to Mass. So we got some cute family photos. So I posted those in there. On Monday, this is when the Pope passed away. So sad. Yeah. Oh, Sophie was sick this day. So while we were waiting on the doctor's office to open, I was doing some stuff. So I had a sick day. I was getting a lot more like reinvested in my art and painting again. And I'll show you guys some pieces that I've done. Skipped a bunch of days here. These were stickers that I got from Miss Gwen. Ranunculus is what it looks like. And then this washi from Tori. Sundays are busy for us, especially during like school and sports season. This was area tournament day, so like the whole day at the ball field basically. And then I skipped these last 2 days in April. So May, I decided I wanted to do some type of like write in the date myself. So that's what I did here. So I was like, I can't believe it's already May, because like January was 187 days. And then all of a sudden the year has been flying by. Oh, this is the day that Orange Man was at UA. Yeah, this is a fun page. Yeah, bought some stickers. I think I was making goodie bags. Yeah, I was making goodie bags that day. Malaya was supposed to have a choir concert that day, but it thunderstormed really bad that day. And, excuse me. And the power was out at her school, so we didn't get a chance to go. Soccer. This is the last soccer game of the year, y'all. The field was so wet. They had no business out there playing soccer. It was crazy, and it was not a clean game. It was bad. One of the kids broke his elbow. Like, how does that even happen? I'll tell you how that happens. The refs out there weren't calling kids being extra aggressive, and a kid got hurt because of it. And I was big mad about that. So, but we had awards day. Jessie coaches, so I usually make awards for the kids and pass out goodie bags, and they seem to really enjoy that. It's like a tradition. This sticker is this is from Cynthia. She is so sweet. She always sends me like great reels. I love watching the reels that she sends me. And then she we're kind of pen pals, so like she'll send stuff, I'll send stuff to each other. We live pretty near each other, like in the same state. Yeah, I struggle a lot today, or that day, mentally. Sundays are rough for me. I don't really know why. So this Monday was busy. It was like youth mental health night. I worked, and then Malaya had her choir concert, so I was like running all day. Malaya did a great job at her choir concert. She was approached by the director of choral studies at UA. He was like, I'm watching you, I have my eye on you, because her choir concert was awesome. It was like a show choir concert, so they did like a lot of singing and dancing. And then Sophie also had her middle school tour, because 4th grade in the community we live in is the end of elementary school. Skipped these days aside from writing in the date. Here's just like a brief synopsis. I actually used my watercolors here and did like this cool gradient thing and just a highlight there. Got some new pens from the Dollar Tree. I think the kids got out of school early that day because the high school had a graduation. I didn't write anything for this day, but Sophie's school had their color run. And one of the moms sent me that picture of Sophie. I was so tickled. Lots of rain. Oh, this was Malaya's softball banquet. It's kind of awkward. Anyway, this was Mother's Day. I just was not, I don't know. I wasn't in a good headspace that day. I was in a weird, foul mood. This was something I cut out. A student had given me a gift for Teachers Week, or Teacher Appreciation Week. I'm not a teacher. I'm a school-based mental health social worker, but I thought it was sweet. And it was like a wood teacher gift. It was like teaching is a work of heart. But yeah, this was also Malaya's awards day at her school. And then I got my Hello Kitty Kaweco fountain pen that day. This was a fun spread. I wrote busy day. Whoopsie, made a oopsie. Yeah, that's Dochi, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, I gotta read y'all this little passage right here. It says, before work, my dumbass forgot to zip my lunchbox up, and I flung, because I went to grab my lunchbox off the table, I flung my parfait in a glass bowl on the ground. shattered the glass, and messed up my lunch, and didn't have time to make lunch, so I had Dunkin' for lunch. There you go. This was a student that this discharge week for my students, and a student gave me this. I can't remember. It's a brain rot, Italian brain rot. I was like, what is this? And she was like, ask your kids. They'll like it. So she was like, I want you to have this. And I was like, thanks. So I taped it in here. Yeah, another busy day. Malaya had softball tryouts, made the team. Oh yeah, this in crazy news, I'll read this caption to y'all. And another reason to lose faith in humanity, there is literally a woman in Georgia being used as an incubator for a fetus. This is what these horrible abortion rules are doing. I hate it for her family, praying for them and praying people get some damn sense. Amen, amen. So, I'm very much a, woman's right to choose, right? And if that woman is brain dead, I don't know that it's necessarily right to use her as a human incubator. I think the family should be the ones to make that decision, not the government or the law or medical practitioners or anyone else. So yeah, makes me sad. This was Sophie's last field day in elementary school. Good times. Let's see. I'll show y'all. I took a picture of the painting I made because I was super proud of it. I did a lot of painting here lately. I've been very inspired. So this was a painting I did just in my cheap Strathmore sketchbook. I've been having fun in the sketchbook. I really like that painting too. But I was very proud of this. I was very inspired to paint and have been inspired to paint a lot lately. This was the day I got those new brush pens. This was when, yeah, this was Malaya's actual last day of school, the 16th. I didn't write anything that day. This was Sophie's clap off or walk off, send off from elementary school. They walked the whole school. The other students clapped for them. Teachers gave them notes. It was very sweet. I was an emotional wreck that week, in case anyone was wondering. And I also got my first Coffee Monsters Co. snail mail subscription. Here's a Tuesday. Sophie's 4th grade graduation was supposed to occur that night, but it got rescheduled. They thought it was going to be bad weather. We've been getting a lot of thunderstorms lately, but it did not get bad, but it was fine. This was Sophie's 4th grade graduation. Just made the whole thing about her. Super proud of my girl. This was the last day of school, or Sophie's last day of elementary school. I just need y'all to know it was a big weeping mess that day. After I dropped her off at school, I was crying. When I picked her up, we were all crying because all the I've been attached to that school since 2015, and it just, it was bittersweet, knowing that my kids both of my daughters successfully completed that school, but also because I love a lot of the teachers there. So that was hard. We also went to the gym. Malaya thought she was all cute on the glute kickback machine, taking pictures. This Friday we went to Wingstop. These were my lilies that Jesse planted me last year, and they were blooming. I went to Michael's. I got the water brush pens. These are awesome for traveling because you just fill in the tubes with water. You fill in these with water. You just need a napkin and paints and paper, and you can sketch away. I lost the top to that one, but these are fun when you don't have a lot of space or anything for all the supplies that watercolor entails. Another Saturday. Jesse, I think, worked that Saturday. I got this picture of the doggos spooning on my bed. So Storm was Little Spoon and Maggie was Big Spoon. And there's Sophie and Chewy was staring into my soul. I didn't write anything that day, but I did. Y'all, I've been super proud of my paintings. This was completely intuitive. I just put a bunch of, I picked colors and paints and did movements on the paper. And this is what ended up coming to fruition, and I loved it so much. It's a beautiful abstract piece, and I guess it could be my interpretation of you know, a flower in a clear vase. Memorial Day. I skipped pretty much this whole week of writing. We had our final, like our team luncheon that day. That's my work team. And we like prepared for our presentation in Savannah. And then we had our year-end lunch at Mellow Mushroom. And then a former coworker of mine attended with her child. And chill night. And I was working in painting Rhonda's planner. And Rhonda, if you're watching, I swear I feel like I am keeping your planner hostage. And I'm going to finish painting in that thing by the end of June. And I'm going to send it back to you. So I feel I've had it forever. I've had it for like 3 months, 4 months. Oh my gosh, you're never going to like trust me with anything again. I'm just playing. And then this Saturday was the day before we went to Savannah. So we dropped the doggos off at the vet for boarding, and then Storm was getting spayed. And then Auntie Debbie, shout out, took the girls. It was Malaya, her friend, and Sophie took them to the pool in her neighborhood and then took them out to eat so Jesse and I could get stuff done. And that was that. There's nothing else back here that I even need to share with you guys. So, wow. I did 2 months in like 20-something minutes. Not bad. But yeah, so that's how I was using my pages. Like I said, I skip a few pages here and there, and it's not a big deal. I promise you, it's not that serious. I just move on. But some of those I will go back in and fill out. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I went through it as quickly as possible. I didn't want to like go through each individual thing. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment those down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye, friends.